I picked up The Power of Now this morning, and I like to just randomly open to a page. And this is what popped out, which I thought was really good for a lot of us during this time of coronavirus, where we might be resisting to what is. So this is called, this chapter is Dissolving Unconsciousness. And this little paragraph says, observe the many ways in which unease, discontent, and tension arise within you through unnecessary judgment, resistance to what is, and denial of the now. Anything unconscious dissolves when you shine the light of consciousness on it. And that rang out to me because I think that probably for me and other people, being resistant to what is might be kind of commonplace for this coming fall and winter, when there's so much unknown. And so to be okay with the unknown is not easy to do. So sometimes our natural response is to become resistant to what is. And that just leads to unease. We can't we can't change the circumstances right now. So we can just shine the light of our consciousness on it and not resist. So anyway, that's the little paragraph from Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. I love this book. I'm going to check the time. Let's see. Oh, I have 10 o'clock. All right. So let me get us up here and take off my glasses. All right. Yes, it is 10 o'clock. All right, everybody. Let's settle into our chairs. Good morning. I know I say this quite often, but is not today the perfect day for some bands, brains, and balance? I think so. So for the next hour, we are going to do that. Shine our light of consciousness on what we're doing without being resistant, except using the resistance bands. That's okay. That kind of resistance is good. So let's prepare ourselves to begin by settling into our chairs, taking a few moments here just to settle in and get comfortable and do what you need to do in order to let go of anything that might be hanging on today, any thoughts for the rest of the day, what you're going to be doing, or any busyness of the mind. We can set that all aside to be present right here, right now. So if you'd like to, you can close your eyes. And further bringing the awareness inward, we'll pay attention to the posture and just beginning at the feet. Notice the connection of your feet to the earth, developing that deeper connection of our souls to the earth, to the ground, so we're feeling grounded. Awareness to the sitting bones. See that you are evenly, your weight is evenly distributed there. So we have that balance. And then awareness to the base of the spine and lengthening up all the way to the crown of the head. So we're sitting tall. Facial muscles are relaxed. Can bring the shoulders slightly back and down to open the chest. Let's bring the awareness to the breath, and we'll prepare for a few rounds of 3-part breathing by letting the abdomen relax, so that as we inhale, we let the abdomen expand with that breath, expanding up to the middle of the chest and up to the collarbones, and exhaling, contracting from the top down until the abdomen gently draws in to expel the remaining air, and then it's a passive filling up, like filling up a glass of water, filling up from the bottom Up to the top, and exhaling as we empty that glass from the top down. Maybe you prefer to envision the ebb and flow of waves. Keeping the awareness on the breath. A few more rounds. After your next exhalation, resume your regular breathing. And keeping the eyes closed, if you'd like, begin to lower the chin down to the chest, tucking the chin slightly down and under. We want to let the weight of the head draw the head down, just enough that we feel a nice gentle stretch to the back of the neck. And then begin to slowly roll the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Let's release the arms down alongside the body so that we can now draw down that left arm so the shoulder moves down slightly, engaging in that stretch to the side of the neck, and then rolling the head back down to the center of the chest, and rolling left ear over towards the left shoulder, and gently pressing down now on the right shoulder, and breathing into this stretch, and then continuing a few more rounds, just rolling gently the neck so that we're letting go of any tightness, any tension. Next time that the chin rolls down to the center of the chest, then begin to slowly lift the head back up. And then let's come forward in our chairs a few inches, sliding forward, walking the feet forward a little bit. Arms are hanging alongside the body. And we're going to start to loosen up the shoulders so we can bring the shoulders up, shrugging them up, back, down, and moving in a full circle here, just a few times in each direction before we change this up a little bit. Abs are pulled in so that our core is activated here, and we're holding ourselves up with the strength of our core. And now let's start, as the shoulders are pressing down, now relax the shoulders. We're going to start from a neutral position, and we're going to start to move one shoulder independently of the other. So we can go in the same direction here. See if you can isolate that movement. So as one is moving forward, the other one is moving back. We keep the neck and head in a line with the spine, so we're not leaning forward. And then pressing down on both shoulders, and then release the shoulders, and then reverse direction. Just a few more times. So just the shoulders are isolated here. All right, good. Let's relax the shoulders now, and let's loosen up our spines. We'll just do a quick warm up here. And so make sure that you have enough space behind you, or turn sideways for cat-cow. All right, so we start with our inhale. As we hinge forward, we're going to really open up here, opening up through our heart center. I like that theme of opening up through the heart. And when you do that, you can envision the heart expanding, if you like that analogy of opening up. As we arch back into the cat, we want to really feel the entire spine arching, the chin tucks down and under, and then continuing. So either you can do this in an exaggerated movement so that you're really moving to the max of your ability, or take it easy and do what feels good for you. Maybe moving to the maximum of your ability does feel good. So just taking it easy, practicing self-care by doing what your body needs today. And then the next time that you're hinging forward into the cow, then we'll come back upright into a neutral position. And then moving towards the legs, let's stretch out one leg. So the heel is resting on the ground, and then the other leg, heel is resting on the ground as well. We're going to splay the toes wide open. We're going to keep the toes splayed open as they move back towards the knees. So we're flexing the feet. As you inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. If it's okay with your spine and your core, begin to hinge forward. If this is too much, bring your hands to your hips. As you hinge forward, lengthening through the spine until you find that edge, and then release into this. You can take a hold of wherever you can comfortably onto your legs or your feet to the outer edge of your legs, and then releasing into this forward fold. Keeping the toes active here so they are fanned wide open. A full deep breath here as you move a little bit deeper, only if it feels good. Preparing to come out with your next inhale, reach your arms out to the side like an airplane, wings, inhaling, the arms up overhead. Walk the feet in. We're going to keep the arms up overhead. As we inhale, we're going to stretch, reaching up. We're going to exhale those arms down. And then again, inhaling, reaching. Full deep breaths here. Exhaling the arms down. And this time we're going to transition. As you bring the arms up overhead, see if maybe the palms can touch. And now, separating the arms, we're going to twist to the right. Let the arms lower down to the side of the body, taking a full deep breath here as you engage into the spinal twist. With your next inhale, we're going to reach the arms up overhead, lifting, reaching, exhaling over to the other side. And then taking in one full deep breath here, nice spinal twist, inhaling the arms up one more time to each side. Taking your time, maybe pressing on your legs so that you can get a little more of a twist. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling to the other side. One full deep breath, looking over that shoulder, and then inhaling, reaching the arms up. And we're going to let the arms just float right on down now. We're going to let the arms float down to our resistance band. So wherever you have your band, and we're going to, now I have two bands because I like one shorter, wider band. And then I have another band that is longer and really stretchy. So if you have a couple, take the one that's longer and stretchy. And I like to fold mine in half so it's not too long and hanging over. And we're going to reach the arms out. So our arms are about shoulder width, palms are facing down, and we already have some resistance here. So try not to have your arms too wide. We want to have the arms shoulder width. All right. So they're straight out, and then abs are pulled in, and we're going to lift the arms up overhead. So now our palms are facing forward, and we're going to just do a little bit of some side stretches here. So as you're swaying to the side, use your breath, inhaling up, exhaling over to the side. And just a few alignment mentions here. There will be a tendency to want to lean forward as you're bending over to the side. Try to not do that. So we're keeping our body in a flat plane here. Torso is just moving from side to side. And as you're moving over to the side, let the sitting bone of that opposite side ground you so that you're not feeling like you might tip. And a few more times. We inhale up, And we exhale to the side, feeling that really nice side stretch all alongside the body. Good. And now we're going to come up. And then we're going to reach the arms forward and bring the elbows in close to the body. Okay, so our forearms are parallel to the ground, palms are facing down now, and make sure that you have a good grip so that you've already got a little bit of tension there. So maybe make your, you can walk your hands in a little bit closer to stretch out the band. So as your arms are in this position, we already have a little bit of tension. Good. And then we're going to start to just stretch the arms away from each other and release back to center, stretching away and coming back. As we're doing this now, notice your shoulder blades. They're flat on the back if possible. So in other words, we are making our shoulder girdle as stable as we can by keeping the shoulders and the shoulder blades intact. So shoulders are in the socket. They're not wiggling around or wobbly. And by thinking of keeping the shoulder blades flat on the back, that can help to maintain some good stability here to our shoulders. So this one is really good for our rotator cuff because it strengthens those deep muscles within our shoulder. And so a few more times, this can be strenuous. Try to keep the abs pulled in always and control with our band. So 4 more, 4, 3, we're holding for just a few seconds at the top of the movement, 2, and this last one we're gonna hold as the arms are really engaged here. You might feel that in your shoulders. 1 full deep breath, and then let's release. Let's rest the band on top of our legs, and we're going to shake out the fingers, loosen up the shoulders by moving around. Good. All right, everybody. So let's take our band, unfold it, place it under the feet. So we're going to kind of power down on that band with our feet, with the ball of the foot. So the band's not going to be sliding around. And then we're going to just pull up. We're bringing the hands up to the shoulders. As we are doing this, we keep our elbows in close to the body. So our arms are stabilized here and breathing. So we're working with our biceps here and strengthening and toning, and we're breathing. Keep going. We're going to transition in 2 and 1. So next time you lower the band down, now it's just one arm at a time. So one arm relaxes down as the other one is pulling up, one at a time. Try to make this comfortable for your hands so that your hands aren't gripping too hard on the band. And I've made mention before that sometimes it helps to have that knot at the end of your band at each end so that you can maybe take a grip right underneath that knot in your band. It helps to not have to grip too tightly. Okay, now we're going to go for 2 and 1, and now we're going back up with both arms at the same time and breathing. Good. Looks like you have good form, and we're holding for a second or two at the top, slow, controlled movements. We always want to maximize our efforts here by making sure that we have enough tension on our straps. And that's where this is so easy to be able to do that. You can just, walk your hands in a little closer to the middle. So 4, 3, 2, and this last one we're going to hold. So bring the hands up towards the shoulders and 1 full deep breath. We're not resisting the resistance bands. And then we're going to lower on down. Good work, everyone. So lower down, but keep a hold on your band. Always be sure if you need to, wiggle the fingers and shake them out that you do that. However, if you're ready, we're going to go right into the next one. So we're just reaching the arms up and out to the side. So now our palms are facing towards the back. the fronts of the hands would be forward. And so in other words, if your thumbs are sticking out, they'd be pointing down. I know sometimes we have questions about how should my hands be? And it's okay here if your arms aren't able to move up very much. Maybe you have a different type of a band where, you know, it's shorter. So try not to compare with me. I have a long band and I have kind of a long wingspan anyway. So as long as you can feel this, this is for our deltoids, that muscle that is on top of the arm. Oh, this one I find always very challenging. So we'll make this one short. I'm just kidding. We're gonna go for 4. Oh, this one does create some muscular tension. 2, and then this last one, you know what we're gonna do. We're holding it. 1 full deep breath. And let's release that down. Whew. All right, let's rest the band on top of the legs, shake out the fingers. Let's roll the shoulders around, whatever movement feels good for you. Let's interlace the fingers and then press the palms forward. And then you can pulse the hands a little bit so that you're releasing any pressure in the joints of the fingers. Good. And then let's release the arms. We'll give them a little rest here. So let's prepare to do a little work with our legs. And so what we've been working with now, this one is, I guess this one you can pretty much use the same band. I like to use my wider band, the thicker one, just because I can push a little bit harder into that. So we're gonna loop the band underneath the foot. And then what we're going to do, so again, it's a ball of the foot, so it's not going to be slipping around. We're going to sit upright and our arms are tucked in close, abs are pulled in always, and then we're going to just push that foot away. So we're pushing. We want to make sure that we have really good resistance on the way in and on the way out. And so this one, you may feel this in the quadriceps. So this one is strengthening and toning the thigh muscle and our glutes. So it's very strengthening for the leg. And try not to lock the leg when you're straightening it out. You can keep just a tiny bend. And so this is also pretty good for our upper body and our core. So you get a little isometric action here in the arms while we're working on our legs. So it's slow and the leg moves straight out, not out to the side, but straight out. Good. And pushing. Maybe for you, it's the leg can't go straight up. That's okay, to whatever length and height that you can move that leg to. So again, we'll go for 4, 3, 2, and we're going to keep this one pressed out and breathing. And then we're going to bring that leg in and we're going to move the strap to the other foot. You can shake out the fingers if you need. So preparing for this, sitting tall, let's bring the leg up to whatever point that you can. Make sure you have good resistance as you start to push forward with that leg, pushing. Really good resistance here. So notice where you're feeling the action of this. Try to keep the arms tucked in close. We're going to go for 4. Might feel this in the hip flexor. And 3. And 2. And this one, we're going to keep it pushed out. And holding and breathing. All right, and then let's release and we're gonna let go. And we're gonna set that strap aside and we're going to shake out the fingers and we're going to move next to doing a little bit of some brain body movement here. And so this one I think will be fun. We're going to take a rest from the exertion of our muscular movement here. So let's sit comfortably in the center of the chair. And it's okay if you want to lean back in the chair, that's fine. Stretch out the right leg. And then point your finger straight forward. And then we're going to start to move the foot in clockwise direction. So the ankle is rotating clockwise. And then as you're doing that, imagine that your finger is maybe a piece of chalk, and on a chalkboard, write out the number 3. So with your finger, just writing the number 3. So just with the finger. Yeah, just with the finger. Okay, good. So now, so keep your foot rotating now in that clockwise position. And now with that same finger, we're going to draw the number 6. Keep the foot moving in clockwise direction. And if anybody can do that, I want to know after class because I can't. But it's a good one to work towards. Let's do the other side. Okay, so stretch out the left leg, stretch out that arm, finger pointing, and then so let's do this one so that we're doing counterclockwise with the ankle. So the ankle is moving counterclockwise, and now we'll just write out that number 3. So we're doing reverse, and then that one actually, I can do that one. So keep the foot moving, and now same thing. So we're going to draw the number 6. Keep your foot moving. See if you can make a backward 6. And if anybody can do any of that, then talk to me after class, because you're going to be leading the brain body exercises after this. Okay, that was just for fun. So we're going to continue with a little bit more brain body movement here. And so for those of you who were with me last time, this will be a variation of a continuation here. So let's sit tall, and we'll have our arms alongside the body, and we're going to bring out the right heel and then bring that leg in, and then the left heel and bring it back in. So we're kind of just marching here in place. We're going to keep going with that. Then we're going to integrate the arms. So as you continue to move your feet, you can make gentle fists, and then we're going to move the arms up, down, forward, and back. Up, down, forward, and back. As you keep doing this, keep the foot, each foot moving independently of each other and independently of the arms. And we're going to transition here. So we're going up, down, forward, and in. Up, down, forward, and in. It's okay if you need to go slower than me, that's perfectly fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transition, and we're going to start to move out to the side. So we're going to move up, down, leg out to the side and in. Up, down, out to the side and in. Up, down, out, and in. The legs are moving with each arm movement. Out and in. Up, down, out to the side and in. You feel free to go slower if you need to, especially, you know, this is probably one of those things where it takes a little while for a lot of us to for the body to feel that it's doing something that is unusual. But so now we're going to transition. Keep the legs moving out to the side. So the legs are moving on their own out to the side, and then we're going to bring our arms to a different position. So we're going up, down, forward, and in. As we started, up, down, forward, and in. A few more times. Up, down, forward, and in. But the legs are moving out to the side. Now, as we're doing this, turn your head in the opposite direction of where that leg is moving. So you're going up, down, forward, and in. Coordinate on your own. Head turns opposite direction to which leg is moving out. Just a few more times. You might feel this in your arms, and that's good. Up, down, forward, and in. Up, down. Okay, I think that's good. Hey, you know what? As long as you can try, that's great. Let's give that a rest. Let's shake everything out. Pound the feet. And so give yourself a massage to the foot, to the bottoms, to the soles of your feet. And we're really just pounding those feet. Good. All right, let's move on a little bit here. Now that was good work, everybody. Good efforting. So we're going to take our bands again. We're going to move to our abs now because we haven't done any ab work yet. So let's take a hold of our bands. And it doesn't matter which band that you take because we're going to be holding it in our arms. So let's take the band and have a little bit of resistance to it so that your arms are going to be about shoulder width, but our elbows are slightly drawn in. You can have the band away from the body a little bit. So if you're not sure, you can take a look at me. So it's away from the body, about chest height. We're going to scooch forward towards the front edge of the chair. Abs are pulled in, and we're going to start to lean back. So we're using that band as leverage. Abs are pulled in, leaning back, and coming back upright. Now, if you find that this is too much for your lower back or anywhere, then you can just scooch back a little bit more in your chair so there's a little less of an angle. So as we're doing this, we're going to continue. Our palms are facing down here or forward. Doesn't really matter. Now, as we're moving back, we're going to lift one leg up and down, coming back up. As we lean back, one leg lifts up and down. We're going to keep on doing that. And then if you want a little bit more effort in here, make sure that the chin, first of all, is slightly tucked in so we have a lengthening to the back of the neck. So what we're going to do is we're transitioning here. So as we're leaning back now, one leg is going to straighten out, and then we come back upright. One leg straightens, the other leg straightens out, coming back upright. If this is too much, then stay with where we started, which is just maybe lifting up one leg a little bit, or not even lifting up one leg. Just moving away from the side of the chair is good for a lot of us. So as we're continuing with this, now maybe you're able to not quite touch the chair with your back. So when you sense that you're almost there, then you come back upright. And maybe even scooching forward a little bit so that you have more of an angle. So there's all those options that are available to make it work. And a few more, so keep going. Keep breathing. And we're gonna go for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we're going to come back upright. Then we're going to lean back to our chair. So just the upper back is to the chair, and then we're going to start to lift up one toe and then the other. So we're just tip-tapping the toes. Tip-tapping the toes. And then see if maybe you can start to do a little bit of bicycling with the feet. I know it's a lot. We're going to go just a little bit longer, and then reversing. Chin tucked in, abs pulled in. Make sure your abs are pulled in. It's okay if you need to rest for a moment. And then forward. All right, and then let's lower the feet down. Let's lower that strap down. And let's come into a forward fold so we can release any pressure to the abs and the low back. So we're going to have, you can just set the strap aside. We're going to have the legs a little bit wider than hip width. We can keep the hands on the thighs. As we inhale, we're going to lift through the spine, and exhale, hinging forward until you can come to wherever feels good for you, maybe torso parallel to the ground, and maybe just take a moment there to breathe into this forward fold. And maybe then you can bring hands down to the ground or to a block or a book thick book if your hands don't touch, and releasing forward into this nice stretch. Let the abs relax, let the lower back relax. Getting a good inversion here, blood circulation to the brain. And we're going to prepare to make our way up. So if you want to do this very safely, bring your hands to the top of your thighs and flat back using your abs and low back muscles to bring you back up, or you can roll the spine up if that's your preferred method, just very carefully. When you're up all the way, bring the legs in about hip width apart. Let's let the arms hang freely alongside the body. Abs are pulled in, chin tight, slightly tucked in. And we're going to close the eyes just for a moment and notice where you're feeling the energy flowing in the body, and just noticing what you're feeling in the body. And good. We're going to do a little bit more work with our band now before we come up to standing. So we never want to pop up quickly from standing after we've been in an inversion. It's very, sometimes it can be easy to get dizzy that way. So we're going to take a band. We're going to do a little bit now of some more upper body workout. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our band and we're going to bring it behind us to the upper back. So it's right underneath the shoulder blades. We're going to keep our arms tucked in close to the body. And so our arms are tucked in close, and we're going to just stretch the arms forward and then release back. As you're doing this, again, the abs are pulled in. Make sure that if you don't have enough tension here, that you just walk your hands in a little bit closer towards the center and pushing. So this one, if you feel that the band is really uncomfortable in your back, then try to maybe straighten it out a little bit. So we're sitting tall, and then one arm forward and the other arm forward. So we're alternating now, one arm and then the other arm. And so with this one, if your thumbs were sticking up, they would be facing up. So in other words, our palms are facing together. Try not to grip too much. And for some people, they'll want to have the band looped around the wrist. That's fine. You can find your own way. So one arm at the other. And so we're going to just go for 4 more now, and then we're going to transition. So about 3 here, 2, and 1. And now we're going to start to move out and in. So out and in. Breathing. We're going to do another variation here. So a few more times, and then we're going to bring the palms in towards each other, and then we're going to open back out. So in and out, opening wide and closing. And you can coordinate with the breath here. This was a good one to coordinate with the breathing, so that we're inhaling when we're opening. The elbows can be slightly bent, so we're not locking anything. Exhaling in. And that way you can hold just for a couple seconds when the arms are wide. And then 4, 3, chin slightly tucked in, 2, and this one we're going to hold wide open, elbows slightly bent. Try not to stick the chest forward, and breathing, and then let's lower the arms and release the strap. And we're going to bring the strap behind the chair so you can leave that alone for a few moments. And if you want to stretch out and shake out, that's fine. We're going to prepare to come up to standing. All right. Yeah, feel free. Let's actually, before we do that, Jan, I just saw that good stretch. Let's stretch out because we've been doing a lot with our arms. So let's reach the right arm straight up and then bend the elbow so the palm is now behind the shoulder. And then just take the other hand, we're gonna slide that hand down the back. And so we should feel a really nice stretch, a lengthening to that tricep muscle. And then if you want to get a little extra stretch, you can push your head back and the torso moves back a little bit to give a little bit more stretch. I kind of like to move around a little bit from side to side when I do this one. And that way you get a nice side stretch. And then let's cross the arm over the body, so in front of the chest, forearm to forearm here, or you can just take a hold of that arm and we're just moving the arm across the body and then looking to those fingers, looking to your left here, to those fingers that are out to the side. And then let's release that. And then the other arm, straight up, bending the elbow, palm flat behind the shoulder, reaching that elbow up and back. And maybe leaning back. Take a moment here, breathing into this good stretch to the arm. And then if you want to do a little bit of an extra stretch here, you can do that, moving from side to side. And then let's lift that arm back up and cross the body with it. Forearm to forearm as we stretch that arm out to the side very gently. So it's a nice stretch to the shoulder. And then looking over to the side, looking to those fingers pointing out. Good. And then coming back to center. And let's release the arms. Preparing to come up to standing, come towards the edge of your chair, the front edge of your chair. We're going to come up this way that we typically do so that we're working lower body. Hands either to the waist, maybe you need to hold on to your chair, that's fine. All these different ways of doing the arms and preparing, maybe checking your feet, sliding them underneath, making sure that they are grounding you as you lift up a few inches off your chair. And then looking forward 4 or 5 feet, really strong legs here, strong glutes, and breathing. We're going to hold here for one more full deep breath, and then start to slowly make your way back up all the way to standing slowly. We'll lower the arms down, and let's release any tightness in the ankles by lifting up one heel and then the other. See how high you can come up to the ball of each foot so that heel is lifting way up. And then we'll take a wide step and roll around. Move the arms. Good. All right. Step the legs in towards each other. So we have been working on our half moon and doing some revolving. So let's come to the front of the chair. So wherever you are, and if you want to take a look, and I'm going to demonstrate. This is what we did on Tuesday. And so first what we're going to do is have hands resting on the chair, or if it bothers your wrists at all, hands clasping the side of the chair. So there's a straight line to the wrist and the forearm. And then we're going to just start to work our legs a little bit by lifting up. And again, this where we're feeling that muscular action is at that gluteal fold and the top of the thigh. And so then, and here it's important when we come into this balancing that one palm is flat on the chair. And then, so it's opposite arm to opposite leg. And then we'll do that on each side, and then we'll come right into our revolving half moon. So we'll do this in increments. All right, so let's prepare. So we're facing the seat of our chair. We come into a tabletop position. And Again, if you need to relieve any pain, any pressure on the wrist, then clasp the side of the chair. And our ankles are right underneath the hips. And we'll start with the right leg. We're gonna just lift that leg up behind us. So if you can sense that it's about hip height, toes are pointing down, and then lower that leg. Keep the other weight-bearing leg slightly bent so that it's not locked, and we're looking down at the chair. And so just slowly, we're lifting up the same leg and lowering it down. Notice that muscular action. So our focus here is at that point where that area is moving the leg up and down, the gluteal fold, upper thigh area. And then we're going to lower that leg down, and we're going to switch to the other side. Slow, controlled movements, strengthening the legs. This is strengthening our glutes, hamstrings. And then next time that that leg lowers down, then let's position ourselves in preparation for this balancing. So we're going to place, and this is opposite leg to opposite arm now. So place the left palm in the center of the chair, looking down at that hand. And then begin to lift the right leg, or I'm sorry, let's see. Okay, so sorry about that. So left palm is on the chair, then lift that left leg up. Sorry, I messed up that time. And then the right arm is going to either clasp the side of the chair or is resting on top of the chair or lifting up altogether, so that we're stretching that from the fingertips all the way to that heel. The toes are pointing down. That weight-bearing leg, there's a slight bend to it. You can look down at that hand or slightly forward, and breathing. Stretching. All right, and let's lower down. And we're going to reverse now to the other side. So right palm to the center of the chair. And then the right leg lifts up behind you, toes down. Find where you can get your balance here. So either taking hold of the chair with your left arm to the edge of that chair or resting it on top. One side may be very different. That's fine. That is normal. Oh, darn it. I apologize if I think I said it right. So the left arm is up and the right leg is stretched out. And breathing. And we'll hold just for one more full deep breath. Find your focus here. Let's lower that hand and leg down. Bend at your knees. Let's come up to standing carefully with a flat back, abs engaged. Good. Can shake out the wrists. Before we move on, now let's do just a little bit with our wrists. So stretch out one arm and press the fingers back towards the forearm, and then flip up and around. So you can just stretch out those wrists. It can be a lot of pressure on the wrists. So we're going to take our time here now with this revolved half moon. And we'll start by coming into the tabletop position, and we'll start with our left forearm on the chair. So it can either be, your hand can either be clasping the back of the chair or to the side. Both hands are on that chair clasping. And we're going to start to lift that right leg up behind us, just as we did before. So now the toes are pointing down, but as we revolve, the toes start to point out to the side as we revolve, looking to the side. If you are able to, you can turn the head as well so that you're looking forward, or if this is too much, then looking down at the seat of your chair. So we're revolving, and then we want to think of keeping the leg in line with the hip so it's not lifted up too high. Toes are pointing forward. When you find your balance here, if you want to take it to the next level, you can bring your hand to the hip And you can keep revolving the torso. If you are able to, you can lift the hand so arm is straight up, fingers pointing up. Taking your time, coming out in reverse order. And we'll stand up for a moment. So for this other side, I'm not going to give you all of the details so that you can find what works for you. And I really recommend that you don't go to the maximum point here, but to find your point at which you can balance, and that's what's important. So find your starting position, tabletop, right forearm onto that chair, maybe both hands clasping the side of the chair, and then begin that left leg lifting and revolving and going at your own pace. Just find your level of balance. When you finish, looks good. Taking your time. When you finished, we'll come into a downward dog. Good work, everybody. Really good efforting. And then, so finding your downward dog. For some of us, it will mean taking hold of the higher part of the chair and then just being really careful as we're walking back. Careful so that we're not like putting too much pressure on that chair. So find what works for you, and we're going to have a nice long stretch through the arms. See if the arms can be on a flat plane, so that, in other words, the wrists and forearms are lengthening out and not crimped or bent. And breathing. We're going to prepare to come out by bending the knees and walking towards the chair. Core is engaged as we come up to a flat back, standing upright. Good. All right, and as usual, a little bit more band work here before we sit down. So let's take our band, take the long stretchy one. Oh, okay, I thought maybe my connection was going to fail on me because everybody stopped for a second. All right, so we're standing on our band, legs are hip width apart. We're really powering into that strap now as we are bending at the knees, bending at the hips so that we send our hips back as we reach the arms up towards the shoulders. And then we come upright, inhaling up and exhaling into our squat. Try to make sure that the knees aren't hanging over the toes too much. So it's just like our chair pose. And here's where those knots in the band can come in handy. So as we continue with this, I thought it would be a good topic of conversation at some point for you to have. Either you feel free for after class or maybe just to reflect on this. But you know, I've been thinking it's been 6 months now since we've been in dealing with our isolation, and it's so important for us to keep connected somehow. This fall and winter is going to be interesting because it will be our first winter with COVID in combination with the flu. And although I believe in thinking positive, but there is that reality that it could be a long winter for us, taking precautions. My husband and I are pretty careful about not mingling much, really keeping it to a minimum. So, but anyway, I was thinking that, you know, it's so important to stay connected and be inspired. Find something that is really inspiring to you, and maybe even an older figure, somebody that can be like a mentor to you that inspires you. Personally, I love Maya Angelou. I love her voice. I love her caring, loving presence. And even watching her just on YouTube, you know, I can still get that sense of compassion and love and inspiration. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that to you as food for thought. All right, so let's prepare to slow this on down, and we're going to come to an upright standing position. We'll release the band. Woo. All right, so we did kind of a lot of those because I was talking. So let's come to our chair, and we'll just kind of take it easy coming into our seated position. So let's find our seated position, and then whichever way works for you. Maybe we want to just sit down. We have been doing a lot already with those standing squats. So feel free if you want to just take it easy and come down in your regular way, or slowly, slowly, slowly working those quads and glutes. All right. Ooh, this has been an exerting class because it's warm in this room. All right, so everybody, I think that what we'll do is we'll do just a little bit more brain body work here, and then we'll kind of slow it down. So I always like to do the little finer movements with hands. And so I'll come closer to us. And so let's do the one where we're doing the peace and okay sign. And then we're alternating. See, as soon as I think I can do this one well, then. So see if you can kind of, and it's okay to look at your hands. Oh boy. It's okay to laugh at yourself. Oh my gosh. I guess I didn't finish my coffee this morning. Do you ever have those nights where you dream really hard and then you wake up and you're like, I slept, for some reason I woke up a little bit later than usual. So I was having these really strange kind of dreams. And so that's what I'm blaming. That's my excuse for not doing this. All right, everybody. All right, well, we got to try, right? So if you're like me and it just doesn't seem to flow too well, try it later on this afternoon or this evening and see what happens. All right, let's prepare. Let's do a little spinal twist before we end, all right? Because they just feel good for most of us. If they don't feel good for you yet, then just kind of take it easy and just move to whatever extent feels good. Yoga should feel good. So let's start by turning to the right side of our chair. All right, and so we want to position ourselves so that our right leg is resting up against the back of the chair. That'll stabilize the pelvis. And then we can turn facing the back of the chair, taking hold of each side of the back of the chair, and then using the breath. So as we inhale, we're lengthening up, and as we exhale, we're twisting, looking over that shoulder. Find a comfortable position for your arms so that they're not too high up the chair and that the shoulders are moving away from the ears. So moving down and back, chin tucked slightly in. And each inhale we lengthen, and each exhale we twist just a tiny bit more. Abs pulled in. And with your next inhale, coming back to direction of your legs without moving your legs, coming into a little counter twist. All right, and then coming back to your direction of your legs, and then we'll just swivel over to the other side. Get yourself set up here, taking a hold, finding your comfortable arm position, and then using your breath, inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, and twisting. If you sense that you're leaning back, then bring the torso back upright. With your next inhale, we'll do the same thing, coming back and around to a counter twist, and then back to the direction of the legs, and then turning to the neutral position in your chair. Sitting back into your chair, and we'll begin to close class. And let's begin by letting the arms hang alongside the body. Make sure that you're resting comfortably in your chair. You can close the eyes if you'd like. And for preparation for 3 cleansing breaths, we have the spine tall, abs are relaxed. As you inhale, begin to fill up from the bottom. So the abdomen expands, drawing that air up all the way to the collarbones. Now shrug the shoulders up, make fists, curl the toes under, scrunch up the muscles of the face, hold the breath just for a moment, open up the mouth and release. And again, deep inhale. Breathing in all the way up to the top. Shoulders are going to lift and scrunch. Everything scrunches, even the buttock muscles scrunching. Open up the mouth, stick out the tongue. And one more time. Breathing deeply. Breathing in all that air and oxygen. Shoulders scrunch. Everything in the whole body is scrunching. Hold the breath just for a second. Open up the mouth, stick out the tongue. Release. Let yourself completely relax and release into your chair, allowing the arms to rest wherever they want. Eyes are lightly closed. All the little muscles around the eyes are relaxed. Lips are lightly together. The jaw is slightly separated. The throat is soft and open. Drawing the awareness to the breath. Finding that stillness. If your thoughts wander, then just bring your awareness back to the breath. At the sound of the bell, we enter into stillness. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be safe. May all beings be well in body and mind. May all beings be at ease and happy. May all beings be free and at peace. Begin to take in deeper breaths. And begin to wiggle toes and fingers, wrists and ankles. And as you begin to open the eyes, you can take in some larger movements. If you'd like to give yourself a full body stretch, reach out the legs, reach the arms out and up, breathing in love, light, and vitality to every fiber of your being. I hope you all have a wonderfully peaceful day today. Namaste.